This is Maheshwari, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to create an aesthetically superior photograph using AI tools. A basic idea what kind of image that you want to generate should be in your mind. So I have a thought in my mind, and I can basically put that into action. So you can use any tool, any whiteboarding tool, or you can use a pen and paper to sketch out your initial ideas. So one of the tools that I would recommend to do pre-production is Milanote. So you can go to Milanote. Okay, so we are in Milanote right now, and this is where you can create your projects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drag a new board into your workspace. You can call it, the photo project, whatever the title of the project is. And then you go inside and you can build your ideation here. So two people stuck in a post-apocalyptic world. This is my idea. I want to show two people stuck in a post-apocalyptic world. That's my basic idea. So now what we have to think about is, what is the style of this imagery, right? What does, and how it should be shot and everything like that. So you might have to set up a mood board for this. So you can go to a image repository sites. It can be just Pinterest where you gather your ideas and thoughts, or it could be a Save. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to look for images. Let's say post-apocalyptic. So I'm going to get a lot of image references like this. So whatever you like, you can basically take it and dump it into your system. So now you can, whatever images that you have, you can basically take it to a Milanote, and it will organize it for you. So you have an idea of what kind of imagery, or maybe there could be more images, but for this example, I'm just showing two. And this is sort of it will give you an idea of what kind of image that you want. Now, another thing that I want to sort of plan out is my composition style. What is the photographic style that I want to use it on my image? So this can be this. You don't have to use the post-apocalyptic keyword while you're searching it. You can look for people in a grassland. So this is like how can we shoot people basically. It will give you a composition idea. So this is an interesting imagery. I'm going to take it. So that's the style that I want to show these two people. They are normally standing here, but I want to use this style to generate an image where it shows two people who are standing in a post-apocalyptic world. So I have this also here, and I can drop that in, right? My compositional style. So once you have all of this done, and you're sort of, you can even sketch it out. So let's say, so if you are a good artist, you can sort of like say that this is my frame, so it is going to be a 16:19 frame, and then inside that I have two people standing here, and I'm just being very rough with it. So two people standing here, and there is a lot of grass, in the ground here, and I have some buildings in the background like this, and this is very post-apocalyptic scenario. There is sun setting or something like that. So just an option to sketch out your idea. Okay, so once you have all this set up, now it's time to go to production, to move to production. So we're going to use Adobe Firefly to generate the image that we have in mind. So let's go to Adobe Firefly. This is the production part. You're in Adobe Firefly. So this is where you need to enter your prompt. So based on your pre-production work, the idea that you wrote down, the images that you have collected, the style that you referred to, and the drawing that you have made, all of this will actually inform you on the prompt keywords that you need to write it down to generate the image. So based on our pre-production, I am going to come up with this prompt. I'm going to write this down here. So two people standing in the middle at twilight with post-apocalyptic buildings in the background. So this is the basic, prompt that we are going to write. We will go and tweak it later, but this is the basic stuff that we are going to write and generate first. So it gives you, this control window right now. That's going to keep generating something, but that's fine. Let's let it do its job. But what we are going to do here is going to tweak it right now. So we have a basic setup here, and you can see that it now chose the art, content, and it's sort of like looking like a painting, and that's not what we want. We want a photo. It's set to auto right now, so let's turn it off, and we want it to be a photo. We want the content to look more like a photograph. And we want the aspect ratio to be widescreen, and we said that it needs to be 16:9. And for the structure, right, so how the shape of overall shape of the content is going to look like. If you have a reference, you can upload that. We don't have it. We have a style reference right now, right? So we are going to upload our style reference. Let's go to our style reference, and this is a style that we want them to use. So upload that image, and we want the a style like this. Okay, this is good enough right now. Let's create this. Right, the results are much better, and it sort of looks like an actual photograph, and we can see these buildings and everything in the background. It looks really, really good. Even the fashion that we had in the reference, they are sort of emulating that, so it looks pretty interesting. What we are going to do is we are going to change a couple of things here. We are going to go to the keyword prompt, and we are going to change a couple of things in this. So we're going to come here, and we're going to move. So there is going to be a little bit of chaos that we actually want in here. So let's sort of say that destroy buildings in the background. We'll also say that it's sort of emulates war and end of the world. These are just keywords to inform the image. Now we also will add a couple of technical parameters like cinematic, blurred background, things like that. We can also write something like emotions to sad people, maybe. Instead of men and women, we can say two sad men standing in the middle at twilight with post-apocalyptic destroyed buildings in the background. So we can also say that smoke. Yeah, I think this is fine. Let's generate this. Right, we have some pretty interesting results right now. Let's go to the first image, and we can see that there are two people who are looking at, a distracted city in the background, which is really cool. So we'll actually work with this, right? We are going to take this, and we are going to use this as a starting point. So I'm going to download this image. We have it. Now we're going to move to our next phase here, which is post-production. So let's go to Photoshop, and I have the beta version of Photoshop running right now. I'm going to open a new file, and what we will do is we'll go with film and video, and we will create a 4K image here. Let's click OK. Let's go and place our generated image from Adobe Firefly to Photoshop. We are going to place it here. So we have this image, and let's rename it quickly. Okay, so we have this image, and we have a white background here. Now, the thing that we might actually notice right now is that it's not filling the frame. And if we try to scale this up by if you do a freeform scale right now, the quality might get impacted. So I don't want to do that. So whenever I'm creating an image and I'm expanding it, I build the content there rather than scaling it. So what should we do to build the content around this? It's very easy with the generative features in AI Photoshop right now. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to select this portion right here. I'm going to build the content here. So I'm going to click on generator fill and click generate without writing any prompt. So it's going to look at what is there, and it's going to create a fill. Right, so it generated the extra sky that we required. So you can just flip through the three options that Adobe is giving you, and you can choose whatever you like the best. I think I'm gonna go with 3. So that works in here. Okay, so we have the first generative fill. I'm gonna merge the two layers together so it comes as one image. And what I want to do is I want to create a floor. So I'm just going to do the same thing that we did with the top. I'm going to select the ground part here. I want to fill this also. Just leave the prompt area empty so it will do what is actually required there. Okay, so it created the ground for me. Let's go through the options here. Okay, it did pretty well. So I'm going to go with option number 2. Now, if you need modifications to it, right? If you look at the original image, you can see a little more of the leg of this person, but when it generated, it's sort of like masked it out. So if you want that, you can sort of go into the mask mode, and you can, sort of adjust the mask. So you can paint on it to reveal things. Right. So now that we have creatively extended our image, we have some more work to do. We're going to make it look more photorealistic. So we're going to apply some filters into it, some grading, some color correction and stuff like that. So to do this, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the foreground from the background a little more evidently, like it was actually shot on a camera. So to do this, I'm going to go and use the neural filter in Photoshop. So go to neural filter, and inside that there is a feature called depth blur. So this will identify the foreground and background in a scene and create a much evident contrast between them. So let's see how that works. I'm going to go down and I'm going to turn on the depth blur filter here. So just turn it on. So now it's enabled here. What we need to do is we need to set the focal point. So I'm going to set the character here as the focal point. Select on that. And it's processing the information. Right, it shows the output right here. It's not perfect right now. It couldn't identify certain points in here, which is okay. We can fix it. But now that you notice that there's too much of blur in here, I don't need the blur to be this evident. So I'm going to bring down the blur strength in this. So it's right now the slider says 50. I'm going to bring it down. So now when you're happy with the whole thing, you can also choose focus subject, and will identify the subject and focus on that. You can click OK. Right, so it applied the blur in there. There are certain problems in here with the filter because it didn't identify this tower right here. It didn't apply the blur there. So you can just manually do that. Select the blur tool and then just blur that area. We're going to manually blur it. It looks really good. So once you have done this, I just need to add, this image is too sharp at this point, and I need to add a little bit of blur. But, need to add a little bit of noise there. But before that, I just want to add a slight augmentation to this image. So what I'm going to do is, I want to select the people here. So this particular person. And I want to say that this person is space helmet. So I want to make them wear a space helmet. So let's click generate and see what happens there. Okay, we have some options. So let's say 1, 2, and 3. The problem that happened here is that it didn't recognize that it's the backside of the man that we are seeing here. So it created the front of the helmet, um, which is fine. So what we will do here is that we will change this. So it's the back side of a man's head wearing a space helmet. So yeah, it's perfect right now. So let's take a look at some of the helmet options that we have. Um, okay, I think the first one works the best, right? So we have this. So that's again one augmentation. That again, I'm going to merge these two layers here. We have this. You can color correct the image. So if you want to go to give it a bit of a tweak, you can do that. So I'm just gonna play with the red values here a bit. Make it slightly more red and give it a vintage look. So this was before and this was after. I need to add a little bit of green, so I'm going to create a new layer, just fill it with gray. I'm going to go to filter, noise, add some noise into it. We have this here, click on OK, go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, very small value will do. So I'm just going to change it to 0.2, click OK. This is going to emulate the look of an actual photograph. So change this to, change it to maybe overlay. So I'm going to choose the lighten here. So this is the original image and it creates a very cinematic look. If you don't need this sort of intensity, you can reduce the opacity of this layer. And yeah. So this actually, finishes the post-production process and your image is now ready for distribution. So I hope this video helped you to create the image that you want. You visualize in your mind exactly in the form that you want it. There are so many tools which are available right now, which will let you do that in a matter of minutes. So I'll see you with another video soon. Till then, bye.